The Caribbean was paying tribute this past week to West Indies cricket great Sir Everton Weekes. Weekes died in his native Barbados at the age of 95. Weekes until this week was the last surviving of the three W's, a genuine world-class cricket hero who, after 10 years of playing test matches, left with one of the healthiest averages in the game and an enduring record of scoring 5 consecutive test centuries. The West Indies cricket team preparing for a test match this week against England will do well to invoke the legacy of Weekes. But these are different times. The first time a test match and series will be played without spectators, an emergent reality of the new normal amidst a health pandemic. When the Caribbean players left the Caribbean over a month ago, President of the West Indies Cricket Board Ricky Skerritt rightly said that they were about to make history. Well, the hour of history is at hand, and we just can't wait for the umpire to state play. To tell us all about the preparations and the challenges, we connect with West Indies team manager Rawl Lewis. Our interview with Lewis starts right now.
So, Rawl, like we said, you're the first international team in the UK with the advent of COVID. What has the reception been like for you? Right now you're in Southampton. What has the reception been like for you, first Manchester and then Southampton?
First of all, good evening to you, Zerith, and good evening, everyone. The reception, honestly, we have not been in contact with a lot of people, so we know that the reception on social media has been excellent. But the people that we come in contact with is mainly medical personnel, event staff. So, we were well, looked after. We are well looked after here in England. So I have to say the reception has been great, and we are looking forward to the first match.
So I know one of the concerns going in was you get tested. Tell us about the testing protocols that you've enjoyed while you've been there and the safety precautions that have been taken.
Well, before we left the Caribbean, we got tested. So everyone who boarded that flight in Antigua were negative. As soon as we arrived in Manchester and arrival at the hotel, we were tested again. So far, we've been tested 4 times in the UK. Actually, tomorrow, we have another. So we have to be tested 5 times before the first test match. So far, it's been good. All the protective equipment, always, to sanitize. Yourself have been placed in your hotel rooms, at the entrance to the hotel. Every corridor has many sanitizing stations. So it's something that has been well thought of. If it's a new norm, but seriously, I think that so far they've done extremely well.
So I'm assuming that the practice sessions have been really intense because guys want to get out there and get after it, right?
Of course. As you know, all West Indian cricketers are very intense cricketers, especially when you have been in lockdown for quite some time. You are eager to get out there and play. So I've noticed that with the guys. Actually, we are accommodated at the Hilton Hotel attached to the Aegis Bowl Stadium here in Southampton. And likewise, we were in Manchester attached to the stadium. And if you look out the window, sometimes you see guys just on the field doing extra work. So, everyone here are extremely happy and keen to get some form of cricket started.
If you had to point to one concern that your team has, what would that be?
In some instances in Manchester was the weather, because it got very cold and wet sometimes. And as you know, these international venues, they dry pretty easy. So even if a heavy shower rain would fall for 2 hours, you're out there in the middle taking the cold breeze and, playing the game as you should. So I believe it's the weather, nothing else so far.
Has it dawned on you and on the team that, hey, you probably going to kind of set the pace as to how we're going to go about viewing sports and engaging in sports in the foreseeable future?
Well, I'm sure that many of us, many other persons would have thought about it, in coming to England, wanting to play and wanting to see what cricket is like behind closed doors. Now, me as an administrator, I was very keen to come to the UK to have an idea as to what cricket would look like behind closed doors. And it's very exciting for me what I've seen here. I take my phone and I take a lot of videos of, certain parts of the hotel, on the team bus, in the dining area. It's so different now. You wouldn't believe. Just last year we were here playing one of the World Cup matches, and to look at that stadium now, to think that it will be empty when the first ball is ready to be bowled. It have to be strange, but we are all learning here. And if this is going to be the way that cricket would play, even whether they get a vaccine for the COVID or not, we would have all experienced it, and I'm sure it would be something that everyone would cherish.
How do you prepare your team for something like this, playing in an empty stadium, no fans? How do you prepare them psychologically for that change?
Well, it's going to be different for them. I don't think you can prepare anyone for that, because none of us have never really experienced it. What we try to get them to do is to focus on the training session and the preparation, on the prehab and post-match conditioning and so on. So you have to still go through the normal routine. So you try not to get them to focus too much on what's going to happen. The stadiums will be empty. You cannot go outside of the hotel. You have to eat within the hotel. There is no room service available, so you don't get in contact with people. So it's just very different. But what we have experienced in Manchester when we were there as a team at the hotel by ourselves, now that we come here to Southampton, the England team is on a different floor. The match officials are here, the television crew are here, but everything has been sectioned out, and you have your own space, so you still don't come in contact with anyone unless you really have to. So it's all a learning curve, and we are quite happy that we came and we see what's happening here, so we could actually understand what the game may look like in future if it remains that way.
How have the guys been keeping occupied in their downtime? I know during the lockdown that a lot of us experienced, boredom was a major issue. When they're not on the field, what else? There's not much else to do, right? So what else are they doing to keep busy, to keep mentally occupied, keep a good psychological space?
Well, we have, honestly, one of the biggest games room I've ever seen from my time traveling. They have everything they have requested in that room for the boys. There are dominoes, cards, Formula One racing, golf simulation, dart boards, table tennis boards, pool boards, mini football, anything you could think about. So when you are not on the field of play and you've already had your dinner and finished your meetings and so on, if you go to the games room, that's where you would think that you're probably somewhere, one of the activity spots in Grenada somewhere on a Friday evening, because lots and lots of activities are taking place there, and music is playing, and there are snacks. Everything has been prepared, according to what we requested, and we are really happy that they went over and beyond to do that. So I don't think the guys are bored at all.
Let's move to the actual field of play now. When the first ball is bowled, the composition of the team and all of that we know, but is there an area, a weakness that your team has on the field that you're concerned about in terms of winning this series?
Well, I think if you look at the records of most of the players, if you want to compare, and you're someone who believe in the books, you may say that we need to score more runs. But the way I'm looking at this is that our guys have prepared well for this series. The last time we played, we came out, we were the winners. So we are going in there as favorite. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm not going to look at what happened in the past. So we just want them to go there and give off maximum effort and perform to the best of their abilities, because we know that if we put runs on the board, our bowling is strong enough to really get into this England batting lineup and create some problems for them. So we already know that our bowling is much stronger than our batting, but we are hoping that things would all come together so we can have a very confident series.
You have some key omissions from your batting lineup. I mean, how do you make up for that deficiency? Well, I don't want to call it a deficiency, the absence of some of the key players who didn't travel with you. Where do that runs come from? Who are you pointing out to on this team that said we'll get runs from them?
Well, if I was any one of these players who would have replaced Hetmeyer, Bravo, and Kimo Paul, they have to come here and be hungry to score runs and remain in the team. So I believe the hunger and desire from these guys are going to really make them do something special on the field. So the key players for me, Shea Hope had back-to-back hundreds here when we won in 2017, and also Craig Brathwaite had. Everyone keep forgetting that he scored a century and 90 plus in that same test match at Headingley, but was just overshadowed by Shea Hope. So we have guys in our unit who have scored runs in England before. And I have no doubt that with the preparation and work that they've been doing, that they're going to repeat that performances.
For fans in the Caribbean, any words for them? Any messages for your fans looking on who are going to tune in on Wednesday to look at these matches?
Well, we know that cricket has not been on television. Live cricket has not been on television for a very long time since the disease. So Caribbean people are really going to be tuned into this series, and not only Caribbean people all over the world. And we like to win. And as much as when you look at some of the comments online, people are disappointed that the team have not been winning series after series recently, but we have to start somewhere, and we believe that this is the right time for we to go out there and perform and win back the support of the fans, and so they can always continue to support this team, because it's a young team and we are developing on the international stage. So I want to encourage them to tune in, continue to give us the support, because we are going to be playing there with passion for you guys to hopefully put a smile on your face in this difficult time with the pandemic.
Thank you very much. He's Rawl Lewis, manager of the West Indies cricket team in Southampton, England. The first test starts on Wednesday. Rawl, thank you very much. Best of luck in this series.
Thanks, Zerith. You take care.
It's the week that was. We will be right